Hello viewers. Today we will be servicing a Vollara Air Purifier. Previous video I did a quick run through of this device. This is the same one from the previous video. In that video I talked about how we have a couple of them in service, and this one being pretty filthy in an office condition. We wanted to just pull it apart, blow some compressed air in there, take a look at the moving parts, and put it back together again. I have serviced one of these once before. They make it pretty simple. These are not inexpensive units, so they make them so they're serviceable. So let's start by pulling it apart here. So if we take a look at the back, this just pops right off, and we have, I think I have the correct size screwdriver here. I do recall that this is pretty small. Let's see here. Just gotta be careful I don't drop this. And I'm doing this outdoors because of the dust. I'll get blown everywhere. Just put this little screw in a safe spot, which is probably here somewhere. Okay. So pull that off. I'll probably just hit that with some compressed air. So if we take a look in here, these come right out. If I remember correctly, these are the actual, I think they're like the ultraviolet lights. Someone correct me if I'm incorrect. These look like they're in good condition, and from what I can tell, they still illuminate and they work. I have replaced them on another unit that I have. The irony is this unit has way more hours on it, but they still seem to work. Okay. It's actually pretty clean in there. Just the dust on the outside, because this was never really serviced properly. Actually, it was never serviced. And this was purchased in 2024, I think during the height of, I'm not 2024, sorry, 2020 during COVID, with the idea that this could, the viruses in the air, it could supposedly, I guess, eliminate it. But there was a lot of that going around back then about purifying air and extra effort. And I still think it's a good idea, because most office spaces year round don't get any fresh air. So I guess the second thing to do is purify the air yourself. This almost seems like it's stripped. Does seem like it's stripped. Hold on to that thought and see if we can get a different size driver there. Okay, let's see. Maybe this will work. It's gonna be too big. Having a lot of trouble just getting the Phillips head screw off. This may be the hardest part of the video, which is kind of funny. There we go. I guess it helps when you have the proper tools. Okay. So then what happens is the top comes off, and this is probably the area that I was most worried about. So what I do, or what I have done, is just unleash compressed air. So we'll do that. We will put the air compressor on. So then we'll take a just a small microfiber cloth, and this I find is actually more effective in the air, but I was just trying to blow out. We'll do the compressed air again. The one that I have in a residential application, it could be a bearing in the fan. I get like a rattle or kind of a squeak from it, and I don't know as much about these types of appliances in terms of the fan motors. If it's the same concept as, say, like a box fan, where you got your windings and your bearing and your shaft. For today, I'm just going to spend time just kind of really cleaning it. And where this has been used in an office situation, people say, well, has there been less people sick in the office than normal? No. Does the air smell any different? No. I really think for an effective air purification system in an office setting or a commercial building, you really got to do it at the HVAC level, not so much at the, whatever you want to call this, the local spot, office level, whatever. But in a residential setting, and I think that's really what these are primarily designed for, it works extremely well. If you've ever prepared food, and you've cleaned up in the evening, it's dinner, and you clean it up and you put it all away, but you wake up the next morning or in the middle of the night and you can still smell it, and it's just whatever it could be. I noticed with one of these running, just on one floor, like the living space floor. You don't get that any longer. So this does really do its job. I don't have any pets, so I don't know how effective that would be. Being interesting if to know. You know, I definitely like animals. I just don't, as I travel, I don't have a dog or a cat at this point in my life, but dogs, while they, no matter how meticulous the owner is with keeping their home kind of clean and the dog brushed and kept, there's always that hint, right? It's just kind of what it is. And I would be curious if this kind of takes that out of the air, but likely won't get a dog for that experiment. So I think we're actually in really good shape here. This really didn't take too long. You know, ideally you service this once a year. You know, I would typically service this and put it away, because once in a residential space, once you open up the windows for the season, kind of there's no point of having this on, you know. But so if I was using this in a residential application, I would have waited until it's warm enough to keep the windows open regularly, and then I would turn it off for the summer months, the warm months, and then service it and store it away until it's needed again. But this needed some TLC pretty badly. But I think we're A-okay. So I'm gonna fire up the air compressor once more. And before I do that, these cloths, you know, these, whatever they're called, microfiber cloths or whatever they are, I use them for everything, except for working on like oil or motors or something like that. I don't use them there, but I use them in these types of applications. I also use them all the time on my vehicles, inside and out. You know, one would argue you could take these gates and wash them, but the dust is coming right off. Right off, look at that. It's really good. Very happy with that. My eyesight isn't the greatest, but I think that's okay. This is a filter I would not recommend running underwater. You can order replacements for these. I haven't yet to do so because I'm able to kind of repurpose them. But it looks like this would just come apart. I will hit this with some more compressed air right before we reassemble. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much kind of how it looks like when it's new. It has that shade of color to it. All right, so we'll fire up the air compressor once again. Bear with me. Go this way, push the top out. Reassemble. This project actually was way easier I guess you don't say that till it's really done. The one thing that I struggle with these is, if anyone knows, is when you start it back up again, it definitely has the I think the clean filter light, and I think something like service the UV or service the light. The filter is easy, you just hit the reset button, and I don't think there's any sensor in there. I think that's just a timing thing. And if I do remember from the original instructions, it was like they want you to clean the filter once a week. I think that was the first time that filter was ever cleaned in 4 years. So there's that. But again, this is really well made. I mean, you barely need any tools to do this. And I think that's the idea, right? So think about something like a box fan. If you watch my videos, you know that I have a lot of those and I work on a lot of them. Those clearly aren't designed to be serviced. Maybe some of the older ones with the oil ports, but so it's kind of like when they're not easy, or for us it's easy, but for average person to service or they feel worth their time, it goes in the garbage. But when you make it easy to service, it's really not a problem. All right, so let's put the top on. Now that we got the proper screwdriver with us, I think that's the order of operation we do this here. Side that gave me trouble. It seems to be going right in, probably because I have the right size screwdriver, not trying to force something that's not supposed to work. Yeah, so like I said, you need little to like no tools to do this. I think when this was bought new, I think I did come with a tiny screwdriver for the air filter, which I can appreciate, you know, if you live somewhere and you don't have a little screwdriver. Yep. You'll always know that this is the correct way because the tab to pull it, which is nice that they do that. Again, this was well made. And it's not often you say something like that about an appliance or a piece of equipment that's made today. And this goes right in. All right. And last, not least, yeah, I love how this just does it. That's so nice. Okay. So we're ready to crank it up. You might not be able to see the lights in this outdoor lighting. So you're gonna have to take my word for it. It should beep when I plug it in. Like on cue. All right. So let's see. Let's give some power. Yeah, so it's telling me the filter, clean it, like it's like a clean symbol that you need to clean it. I hit the reset button, it didn't get rid of it. And then the cell, I guess that's the cell for the light, that didn't reset either, so let me try that. Okay, so I just got the clean mic on. But I can't get that. Same thing with the other one I have. Even though the lights seem to work, yep, they're working. You're not going to be able to see that with the camera. I don't know if you can see that. Let's try to get the camera in there. Probably can see that light, but it works. Those, I'm just going to call them cells because I don't know what the technical term is, or ultraviolet lights, whatever. They, I believe they run $80 or $85. I purchased them, I think I've said in another video or maybe in this video, purchased them for my residential unit. They work great because they completely burned out. It's just going to be a matter of time, but you see how easy it is to replace them. And the sad part, like I said, these are sitting in a commercial location just running and running and no one's servicing them. These retail for like $1,500 a piece. Not cheap. We got them wholesale. I personally did not arrange for the purchase, but I was a part of that, and I think we got them at wholesale for like $600 a piece. Would I do it again if it was my decision? No. But the fact that I have them, I don't regret it. That's the way I kind of look at it. And so here we are. If anyone has any familiarity with these, would like to hear it in the comments. And if you have another type of air purifier that you prefer, you like better, that might be less expensive but effective, certainly comment on that. Would like to hear it. And if you like my videos, feel free to please like my video, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, as well as the types of videos I do. Typically, more recently, a lot of fans, some nutrition stuff. We're going to get into, as the spring gets going, do some lawnmower stuff as well. Just a general all-purpose channel here. So thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.